Hi, this is Farrell and page 14 of Robot Todd issue 3. And this page is very dialogue heavy for me anyway. It's a lot more words on the page than I'm usually comfortable with, but I felt like at this point in the story, these characters hadn't really, like they'd kind of, just met and then in the first issue, and then it's just been nonstop action. And then they got separated, and Todd's kind of been doing his own thing. And yeah, I felt like it kind of needed some sort of conversation. They haven't really had a chance to really talk before. So I just kind of skipped from the last time we saw SEPT was on the ground. Now it's however long later. See the little drawing up there on the left? I doodled this as I was drawing this page. I was just kind of trying to think of a different vehicle that I wanted the whole gang to be traveling in eventually. And I don't know if I'm going to use that one necessarily, but I thought it was kind of a fun thing. Maybe I'll try doing a few different vehicle versions, because pretty soon in the story they're going to be driving this car that Todd rigged up at like the start of the next issue. But let's get back to this issue. A lot of dialogue on this page, and I was revising it a lot. Like I had something written down, and I was using that as sort of the framework, but as I was penciling it, that was like one of the things that was sort of stalling me on pencils. And then I felt like I kind of was overworking the pencils a little bit because I was having such hard time figuring out what I wanted. I mean, I kind of knew what I wanted the characters to be saying, but like how I wanted them to say it. I want it to be as simple and concise as possible, and still being easy and fun to read. And feel natural too. I wanted them to convey some kind of there's like a relationship forming here. These characters, they're becoming friends or whatever. And this whole time that EMBER is nagging SEPT, we don't know if Todd can see EMBER or not. Kind of near the end of this video, you'll see I ended up lettering it, scanned it in, and then I did a lot of Photoshop surgery to this one. Well, a lot for me anyway. And the dialogue I did a little, I did a lot of like cleaning up, where I used all the lettering as sort of the base or whatever, and then kind of cut them out, redid the background with Photoshop in the word balloons, and then repasted that back in with like edits and little tweaks here and there. And then I actually ended up doing some Photoshop stuff to Todd and SEPT, a little bit on SEPT's pants, but like on Todd and the light that they're looking at. Like I should have looked at like reference photos when I started this, because I knew I wanted to be some kind of like campfire light, and I was just like, I'll just fake it, figure it out. Like it'll just be like strong. I'll just keep that area white or lighter, than everything else. And then as it goes out from there, that it gets darker. And then we have like, really dark cast shadows and stuff. I was just sort of like trying to, I've done this kind of thing before, and it ended up, it seemed fine, like when I was inking it and then started the colors and everything. Like I felt like, oh, that's a pretty good start, and it'll come together. But I don't know, maybe I just was like staring at it too long, looking at it too long, or what. But by the time that I had most of the colors finished, I just left like the lamp area, white, and I should have erased and tried, or maybe just use like white paint and try to get that really bright white with paint. But I just kind of ended up putting some orange colors around. I mean, I sound like I'm being really flippant. Like I just dashed this thing off. It's like I thought about it a lot and probably spent too much time painting it, and I should have tried to keep the painting just like a little looser and not worried about it as much. But I might have even benefited from just putting a yellow wash down over the whole thing first. Like that probably would have been the best idea, and then I could just go in and touch up little white highlights here and there, But yeah, I think instead there was like too much white area that I hadn't painted over, just kind of scattered around. It was kind of pulling away from the front. Like, looking at it now on the video as I'm narrating this, it looks like it doesn't look that bad to me, you know. It's like, but there's like so many little parts that I hadn't touched, like the doll. I waited until the end to color the doll and Sep's face. Even I was kind of waiting on that, and I don't know. I just felt like I was being kind of like timid with things too much than I have been. Like I was getting too fussy or something. I don't know. But then after I scanned it in, like it looked fine, you know, it looked finished. I asked my partner to like look at it. I was like, "Does this look done to you?" You know, after I did all the stars and stuff in the sky. But I don't know. After I scanned it, it was like fixing up the lettering. I just kind of noticed, because I barely even look at the art after I scan it in. It's just more, you know, like, oh, there's like some schmutz on the scanner or something. I need to clean that up. But on this one, it seemed like I had kind of overworked Todd's face in a couple of panels, and the shadows didn't really make sense with the light. Like, I don't know, I was just being kind of like, I wasn't being this thoughtful or whatever when I was painting it. It was like late, you know, when I was finished it up last night. And yeah, just looking at it, and it sounds like I'm making all these excuses for it or something, but I just normally don't do this kind of Photoshop thing. But yeah, I went ahead and used like the stamp tool on Todd's face and the light itself too, because like, I don't know, maybe I should have just kind of started with like that first and then worked out from there, but I was kind of going dark to light. Anyway, no more excuses. I'm going to approach page 15 a little different. I think I'm going to work out more of the values and stuff in the sketch. So this scene is right after Todd breaks Sept out of that crystal prison, and this is like the first time they've ever had to like chat, and Sept's trying to like, I guess, connect with Todd, and Todd's kind of off in his own little world there. I wanted Sept to suggest this, you know, oh, remember Fern Fells, the person we met right before we got split up? And Todd's gonna like, hear that and be like, oh yeah, and then grab that umbrella, pop it open, and turn it into like an antenna, and then use those Nephilim ships, those things that are at the top of the page there, as like a relay system to make Fern's little communication device, which kind of looks like an iPhone or whatever, but make her that phone ring, you know, and then she's gonna, yeah, I got this whole, thing, connection thing planned, and then there's gonna be like a little bit of an action scene, but for the most part, the action of this issue's, coming to a close here. If you're wondering what that little piece of paper is I'm holding at the bottom of the page there, I'm writing down extra letters, because if I mess up or something, I can just write down one there and then scan it in with the page and use it in Photoshop. So this is me erasing the pencils underneath the lettering, but you just saw I was doing that with a Faber Castell Pitt pen. It's size F, which I guess stands for fine. This is getting pretty close to the finish, but like I said, I'm still kind of waiting on the stuff just closest to the light. I felt like maybe if I just quit at this point, that would have been good, but I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of color like on the areas closest to the light. But as I kept adding stuff, it just kind of kept getting muddier and just kind of sloppier, and I don't know, it just got kind of frustrating. So you can see the parts that are circled are the parts that I photoshopped there. And then same thing with here. I used the stamp tool, first I used the wand tool, and that's the hue and saturation a little bit, and then it was mostly like the stamp tool. There's page 14, just have 6 more to go for this issue. Here's the SEPT and EMBER update. It's still going on. I'm going to let it go for like another week or so until the book's printed, and then I'm going to shut it down. So if you want to get a copy of this 32-page story, and this is like what happened in between when Todd and Sept were separated and then reunited again. So SEPT and EMBER, fund us September. And I got original art for sale over there too. And those are a bunch of books that I've made over the years. And I have a Patreon if you want to go read the Robot Todd stuff over there. It's just $2 a month. Thanks. Bye.